Enugu, the Stuckwater Borehole.
Chapter 1. A Thirsty Town. The sun blazed down on Uwani area of Enugu, turning the dry earth into cracked patches of despair. For days, the borehole had been silent, its pipe stuck deep underground. The villagers gathered around it, their voices rising in frustration. "We pay good money for this!" Papa Uchenna shouted, kicking the drilling machine. "Now the engineers say they can't fix it!" Mama Ngozi wiped sweat from her brow and sighed. "Without water, we'll have to spend our last coins on tankers. How will we survive?" Nearby, a group of kids watched intently. They were the Fixers, a team of problem solvers known for their clever ideas. The group had 4 friends. Ebuka, the confident leader who loved tinkering with machines. Ada. Chidi, 11, the careful thinker who always double-checked the numbers. Obinna, 10, the curious observer who noticed things everyone else missed. "We have to do something," Ebuka said, his eyes narrowing. "The whole town is counting on us." Chapter 2. Finding Clues. That evening, the Fixers snuck back to the borehole. The drilling machine stood like a silent giant, its long metal pipe trapped deep in the earth. The engineers had left, shaking their heads in defeat. "What could be stopping it?" Obinna wondered, crouching to examine the ground. "It's like the earth is holding it hostage." "Maybe the soil is too tight," Chidi suggested, scribbling calculations in his notebook. "If we could loosen it, the pipe might come free." They decided to ask Mr. Okafor, a local engineer, for advice. He wiped grease from his hands and sighed. "Sometimes, when drilling deep, the soil presses against the pipe and traps it. If only we could reduce the friction." Ada's eyes lit up. "What if we use something slippery, like soapy water?" Ebuka snapped his fingers. "That's brilliant. Let's try it." Chapter 3. The Fix. The Fixers sprang into action. They borrowed a small water pump from Uncle Chuka's workshop and filled a big drum with soapy water. The smell of detergent mixed with the dry, dusty air as they carried the drum to the borehole. "We'll pour this down the hole and see if it helps," Ada explained, her voice steady despite the excitement bubbling inside her. Carefully, they poured the soapy water into the borehole. The liquid disappeared into the darkness and the kids held their breath. Mr. Okafor started the machine, its rusty gears groaning as it strained against the pipe. At first, nothing happened. The machine roared, but the pipe didn't budge. "It's not working," Chidi muttered, his shoulders slumping. "Wait!" Obinna pointed. "Look, it moved. Just a little." Encouraged, they poured in more soapy water. The machine pulled harder, its metal joints creaking under the strain. Then, crack! The pipe shifted. The kids cheered, their voices rising above the noise. Suddenly, with a deafening whoosh, the pipe slid free, sending a spray of muddy water into the air. The villagers, who had gathered to watch, erupted into cheers. Chapter 4. Water flows again. A few days later, fresh water gushed from the borehole, clear and cool. The whole community celebrated, dancing and singing under the shade of the mango trees. "You kids saved us," Papa Uchenna said, clapping Ebuka on the back. "We owe you more than we can ever repay." Mama Ngozi cooked a big pot of jollof rice, its spicy aroma filling the air. The Fixers sat under a tree, plates piled high, their faces glowing with pride. "That was fun," Ebuka said, grinning. "What's the next problem we're solving?" Ada laughed. "Maybe we should fix the broken bridge by the market." "Or stop the blackouts," Chidi added, tapping his notebook. Obinna leaned back, staring at the clouds. "Whatever it is, we'll figure it out. Together." The Fixers smiled, knowing their adventures were just beginning. The end.